today the focus is on perspective because
that's why we're in the corner.
I know, we're in the corner. The perspective is all different. So even though we often do this, let's do it again. Let's start. All right, let's start with shaking and bouncing because what better way to shift our perspective than to move it up and down a little bit. And feel free to let this be whatever kind of shaking and bouncing experience you want it to be. I was literally just napping on the couch 20 minutes ago. And so in that case, I need a little energy. So I'm gonna actually hop in place a bit. But if you're feeling like this is the end of your day and you don't really need to bring the energy upwards, just feel free to take the legs kind of wide and shake it on down. That's fine too. Either way, wow, the mirror action in this video is too much.
Oh, I thought that was a whole.
From every
I thought that was a whole other person in the bottom corner there.
It sure looks like it. And of course, you may guess what's coming next. We can start turning that shaking into a little bit of twisting. Just warming up the body a little bit before we get into, we're gonna do a little like traditional Hatha yoga, Western yoga type stuff today, meaning warrior two and stuff like that. So we just want to warm up for that stuff a minute. First, you can keep your feet kind of wide, take the arms out into a T. Well, inhale like you're grabbing a giant beach ball. Exhale, bring those arms back to the T. Inhale to the other side and exhale. And you can just continue like this, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. So we'll just keep doing this for a little bit. Really breathing in through the side body here as we inhale. So this is a warm up to lengthen the sides of our bodies, which will be very helpful when we are in triangle and side angle and that type of thing later on. And then let's do spider stretches too. We hardly ever do these and they're so wonderful. So this will be a bit of a warm up for the arms and also a bit of a warm up for the spine. I'll show it from the side. Oh, look how tiny I am compared to Brian. I'm like a hobbit compared to Brian. So he's like a giant compared to me. So I'll show it from, sorry about that, perspective. I'll show it from the side, Brian will show it from the front. I'm gonna inhale my arms up wide, like in a big Y shape, and almost like stick my hips forward here. So I'm really extending the spine long, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. Then I'm gonna inhale my arms down, spine still long. Exhale, fold forward. Then I'm gonna inhale my arms a little bit higher. Exhale, fold forward. Inhaling the arms a little bit higher. Exhale, fold forward. Inhaling the arms up real high. Exhale, fold forward. Again, starting down low like a spider with 8 legs. Exhaling forward. Inhaling open. Exhaling close. Take this at your pace. You can speed it up or slow it down. And your spider could have 8 legs or 16 legs or 25 legs. It really doesn't matter. He's been full of it, Maggie. Really allow a full range of breathing here. Really allow for a deep inhale as you open up, a deep exhale as you fold forward. Similar to breath of joy. And next time you fold forward, feel free to stay here. You can toe heel the feet to about hips width distance, so that's about 2 fists width between the ankles. And then feel free to grab opposite elbows. And just rock side to side a little bit. If you like, you can interlace your fingers at the base of your spine here behind your back. And then coming back to stillness, as we fold forward, you can take your arms away from the hips, up towards the ceiling, folding forward, getting a nice stretch for the shoulders here. Inhaling deeply, exhaling completely. Any other chart on this? You want to do the swimming?
and the hips.
Yeah, why don't you teach us that for a little bit?
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
All right. So when you're ready, you're gonna roll up the spine one vertebrae at a time. Just curl up as slowly as you want. Take as much time as you need. Take as many breaths as you need to get there. And when you get all the way up, you're gonna step the feet out to about, I don't know, match width distance. And we're just gonna roll through the hips. So we're just making little big circles with the hips.
This feels good.
And then we're gonna go ahead and switch the direction. And you can just, you can kind of keep your feet where they are, or if you want, you can even step them in a little bit. We're gonna make figure eights with the hips now. So just taking one hip forward and back, and then the other one forward and back. So you can do that a few times. If you want to add in the arms into this,
It's a backstroke.
you can do like a backstroke sort of motion. Just basically opening up the shoulders, rolling the shoulders.
Make sure to stay grounded here if you can. That could mean looking at the ground.
If it gets too confusing with the arms, you can always just do it with just the hips. Now we're going to switch the direction that we're rolling those figure eights. So now we're taking the hip from back to front on one side and then back to front on the other side. Same figure eights, just in the opposite direction. And if you want to add in some arm motion into this, now we're doing like a swimming forward motion.
You got the good board.
I got the quickie boards. Hear that?
The board that we hide the life savings under.
Oh, we don't.
25 cents.
All right, and then you can come back to the center and just kind of shake it out.
Ooh, let's do real quick for our arms. One more thing to just kind of warm them up really quick. So when you're ready, feel free to take your arms out into a T, and we're just going to do little circles that spiral out to wider and wider circles. Eventually, maybe these wide circles cross at the wrists in front of your body like this. Palms are facing down. And then we'll take our arms back in a T and take those little circles the other way, letting them spiral out to bigger and bigger circles.
Reach long through the arms, but try keeping the shoulders relaxing down. The shoulders are not creeping up when we do this.
That's the hard part.
Right?
And then we'll take our arms out into a T with the palms facing up this time. Same thing, little circles that spiral out to bigger and bigger circles. And then the other way, spiraling backwards or whichever way you didn't go last time. Palms still facing up, little circles spiraling to bigger. We do leg swings. I don't think we need to do hip rolls as much as leg swings.
Okay, let's do those then. Do.
Yeah, if you don't mind, that'd be great. This
All right.
next one you might want to block, but it's not completely necessary.
Use a block for this one if you want. And if you're near a wall, that's even better. We're gonna step up on a block or a book or whatever. But again, if you don't have a block, that's fine too. And if you don't have a wall, that's fine too. We're just gonna, we're gonna swing one of your legs. So if you don't have a block, you don't have a wall, you have to sort of just lean
If
to
you
one.
don't have a block, you don't have a wall, it looks like this.
You just sort of lean to one side a
It's
little
much
bit.
harder.
It is a bit harder without the block.
Well, the block is not so bad. We can survive without the block, but without the wall, you really gotta be ground down into that standing foot, spreading the toes wide, trusting that you won't fall over.
And then you can shake out that leg. We're gonna turn it around and do the other leg.
If you're getting your arm involved, just remember the arm goes forward when the leg goes back. It'll feel natural once you get into the swing of it, but ching. All right. Oh, this feels so good. Let's just keep going forever. All right. And then let's try what Robin was saying about the, Brian can do this on the ground. I'm going to do this against the wall to try to show you what is going on here. I'm going to take your wall spot. You can have my ground spot.
Okay.
So it's up to you whether you want to do this next shoulder opener
What am I doing?
on the ground, letter T. It's up to you whether you're doing the next shoulder opener on the ground like Brian or on the wall like me. But if you're doing it on the wall, come up to the wall and give it a big hug and turn your head to the right.
If you're doing it on the ground, I guess what, we're laying with our stomach face down, arms out into a T, turn your head to, which side are you going to, Annie?
I'm turning my head to the right. So what I'm
I'll
going
do
to do
the
here now is I'm going to bend my right elbow and press my right hand against the wall. At this point, I'm going to turn my feet so that the outside of my left foot is against the wall here. And there I am,
And if,
already stretching my shoulder.
and if you're doing this on your back, you just bring your right hand right under your right shoulder and then just press into that right arm as you roll onto your left side. And with that left arm out behind you, you should feel a good stretch along the left shoulder.
If you want to go deeper, whether you're standing or prone on the ground, you can take your right hand back. Now at this point, my left hip is against the wall. Ah, this is so hard. Thank you for the suggestion, Robin. I'm gonna reach my left hand back and try to get my right hand.
I got it.
Try to interlace fingers. Oh, that's great. It's very challenging. If you're lying on the ground, you can bend your right knee and place the sole of your right foot behind your left knee. And at that point, you can start veering the hips down to the ground so that your butt is laying almost on the ground. If you're at the wall, you can always unclasp the hands, that's fine. And just push with that right hand. Oh, and start turning your feet towards the front of the room. It's very epic, very intense shoulder stretch. So if you have any kind of rotator cuff injuries, listen to your body here. Don't take yourself to a place of no return. And when you're ready, we'll just unwind everything. The standing folks will just come back to hugging the wall.
And if you're on your mat, you just roll back onto your stomach.
And at this point, if you're standing and your toes are pointing towards the wall, your face is pointing towards the wall, turn and look towards the left. We'll bend the left elbow. Oh my God, there's an arm coming from under the door. We'll bend the left elbow and we'll turn our feet to the left so that my right hip is against the wall and the outside of my right foot is next to the wall. So if you're lying down, you bend your left elbow, push down on that left hand.
There it is.
Well, you know what to do here. You teach
Hi. And then you're gonna roll onto your
Oh, we promise we're professional.
right side. I can't be professional with this guy putting his butt in my face.
No, no one can. They can't be expected to do that. And then if you're standing and you want to reach back, for the hand, for whatever reason, it's easier for me on this side. Go for it. Might be easier for you on this side, might be harder. If you're laying down, you can do the same thing, reaching that left arm back to meet the right. And if you want to take it further, if you're laying down, you can start, yes, you can bend your left knee and place the sole of the left foot on the ground behind the right knee, and then start bringing the left hip towards the ground so that your butt is going towards flat on the ground. If you're standing, just keep turning, I'm gonna let go of this arm, but just keep turning the feet towards the center of the room, away from the wall. Whoa, it's real. And we'll just breathe deep here. Find comfort in discomfort. The secret of yoga, comfort is everywhere. All you have to do is find it. It might be against a wall like this. So when you're ready, we'll unwind this posture. If you're against the wall, feel free to come away from the wall and just shake everything off a little bit. You can waggle your arms like they're wet noodles.
If you're on your mat, you can just come back to center. You can actually take your hands and make like a pillow and just rest your head while you, I like to take my hips back and forth.
Yeah, if you're laying down, just waggle your hips.
Give yourself a waggle, wiggle.
If you're standing up, you can waggle your hips too, because We don't get enough hip waggling in these days of no dance floors available to us because of COVID. So when you're ready, if you're laying down, come to hands and knees.
I'm gonna get, when you spot back,
No, I'll take your mat.
All right,
That's
cool.
okay. We'll just trade mats. So,
Trading places.
The big secret of yoga is that you don't actually need a mat. And if you're on your hands and knees, feel free to tuck your toes, lifting your hips, coming into your first downward facing dog. And then just gently, with maybe bent knees or straight knees, walk the feet forward to the hands. Oh, that's great. I'll just tell you what to do and I'll just stand here. This is awesome. And then when you're in your forward fold, feel free to roll up slowly. And we'll all come to the top of the mat for just a quick sun salutation to further warm up the spine before we get into these wall-assisted adventures. So when we come up to the top of the mat, it's your choice whether to have toes, big toes touching with a teensy bit of space between the heels. Here, I'll actually do it this way so you get a better view of me. Or feet can be hips width distance apart. Either way, we'll inhale the arms up above the head, and then exhale, fold forward, keeping a nice long flat back as best you can. On your next inhale, you can slide the hands up the shins, lengthening the spine, keeping the chin kind of tucked here. And we'll just exhale here for a second. Inhale again, further lengthening the spine. You can bend the knees if you need to. And then we'll exhale, come all the way down to a forward fold. Plant the hands, step or jump the feet back to flat back, to plank, to flat body, ideally. Well, maybe not. I like some curve in my body. And so when you're ready, you can either come down by a chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. I'll show chaturanga. It's coming forward like that. My elbows are staying close to my body, and then I come all the way down. Brian's gonna show knees, chest, chin.
knees, chest, chin is similar. It's just you bring the knees down first. And then again, coming forward, keeping the elbows hugging into the body as you lower down.
Very nice. So at this point, we'll inhale up. It's your choice whether you want to come to a low cobra, a medium cobra, a high cobra, or upward facing dog with the knees up. And then when you're ready, on your next exhale, lift through the hips. You can come through tabletop if you like. We'll tuck the toes, coming into downward facing dog for just a second. And if you're in a downward facing dog that looks like this, bring your sternum and your body forward a little bit to take the shoulders down the back towards the tailbone. So we want to keep a nice long back here, which might even mean coming a little forward in a downward facing dog, like that. And then lifting the hips and working the heels towards the back of the mat. Oh, it's so nice. For some people, this is a resting pose. That's not really the case for me, but at the same time, this is a long stretch for all the long muscles in the body. So I'll take advantage of it for that. So when you're ready, let's bring the toes to touch behind us and lift the right leg first to hip height. Maybe using a wall or a mirror as an assistant if you like. And then let's lift that right leg even higher and bend the right knee.
Are we stacking hips?
Yes, we're stacking the hips. And we're looking under our left armpit and possibly drawing the left heel towards the ground even more, but trying to keep the shoulders even here. And then at this point, we'll bring the hips back to even again. And inhale deeply, exhale, draw that right knee in towards the chest and step it in between the hands here. And at this point, you can bring that left foot down and bring yourself up into warrior two. Now I'm in a pickle because I want my warrior two to face the other way. So if you're practicing with a wall nearby, now's your chance to take advantage of it. So find yourself in your warrior two with the wall right behind you. You can even lean up against it. You could even bring your left heel against it, in which case my right foot is not right against the wall, but my right heel is intersecting the arch of my left foot, which is kind of at like, sort of at a 45-degree angle. So that means my right foot's maybe a couple inches away from the wall here. And I am leaning against the wall. I'm taking it easy, so to speak. From here, just see what it's like to lean against the wall and lengthen the spine and then come away from it, keeping the tail tucked here. My teacher, Anjali, taught me a really wonderful way of keeping the tail tucked here. I'm actually gonna come into the center of the room to show you. So I'm actually gonna come into, this is a great look. I'm gonna come into my warrior two, and then I'm gonna stick my tail way out. Then I'm gonna turn my right thigh under like that. And that rotational movement, I'll show from this side again too. That rotational movement is what lengthens the low back, lengthens the spine, and opens out the hips here for a really nice warrior two. We don't want a warrior two that looks like this. We don't want a warrior two that looks like that. We don't want a warrior two that looks like that. We want a nice long spine here. We want to support our spine here. So if you don't have a block near the front of your mat, now is a great time to get one. And we'll come back into this warrior two. Will you teach revolve, warrior, and side angle?
Sure.
All right.
So we're gonna revolve our warrior. So the big thing here is we're gonna keep the lower body exactly where it is when we revolve our warrior. We're not gonna start to straighten that front leg when we do it. We're gonna keep that and bend in the front leg. You can take that back arm and just let it find the back of the leg, the side of the back leg there. You can turn the front arm palm face up, and then inhale, open up that warrior, keeping that bend in the front knee.
Where is our gaze?
Well, you can look up at your palm.
That's a great idea.
Yep.
And if you find that your balance is wavering here, you got the wall. So feel free to take advantage of it. This is a take advantage of the wall kind of day.
One more deep breath in here. Exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. And then we're gonna inhale up to warrior two. And then we're gonna exhale. We're gonna bring that elbow, that front elbow to that front knee, making a long line with the left side of the body. Reach that left arm up alongside of the head.
And again, play with your gaze here. Because you have the support of the wall, feel free to take your gaze up towards your left hand if you like. Or towards the ceiling. And if you're feeling really confident and comfortable here, and you really feel confident from all those core exercises we've been doing over the past few weeks, feel free to raise the right arm. You can use the wall here if you want for support, or you can just hold the body away from the wall, really relying on the right thigh.
But if you're
for
not
your support.
raising that back arm, the idea with these, with this side angle is that we're not supposed to be collapsing into this arm. We're not supposed to be using all our weight here. We're supposed to be spinning the body, keeping light here. So even if I wasn't going to raise my arm, I should be able to kind of just let this sort of thing happen.
But it's been happening a long time, and it's super intense. So when you're ready, we'll inhale right back to warrior two. And now we'll straighten that left leg. We're going to come into triangle. I personally like a slightly shorter stance for triangle than what I'm in right now. These are my warrior two legs. My triangle legs are a little different. So I'm actually going to bring my left foot in just a little bit. And then straighten the left knee, straighten the right knee. Take advantage of the wall again if you like. And slide towards the light switch. Slide towards the side. And then reach down for shin. Place a palm outside of the, or I guess on the inside of the right calf here, or you can put a block on the outside of the right calf and use that. Now, this is a great pose, and I feel quite a lot of stuff going on the left side of my body, but I also want to feel some length on the right side of my body. So I'm actually going to take my right hand and push it in to my right hip crease right here. So this area right here where the hip is bending, I'm going to push into there, making sure not to hyperextend my knees too much. Lengthen through the right side, maybe even lengthen through the left side, reaching over my head like this, and then come back into my triangle. And once you're in your triangle, again, experiment with your perspective. Because we have the wall behind us, feel free to look up towards the ceiling. If you want to have something more stable and grounding, you can look towards the ground. But I encourage you to see what it's like just to look up in this posture for a second.
maybe even come slightly off the wall and give it a try. You're amazed how much confidence you have in your looking up at your hand when you know there's something you could fall back on if you needed to.
Our old friend, the wall. What would we do without her? So from here, feel free to now look down towards your right foot. We're going to take that block, and I might take my right foot out away from the wall just a little bit. I'm going to put the block up against the wall here, and I'm going to take myself into half moon. This is one where you might be really happy to have the wall nearby because it is a balancing posture. So if you are practicing with the wall nearby, you can toe heel that right foot a little closer to the wall if you like. Opening up again like this, maybe relying on the wall a little bit for support as you look up again towards the ceiling. And you don't need to use a block with this posture. You can always take a block out and just have your hand on the ground. My arms just really like blocks. And then from here, if you want to move your body away from the wall a little bit, oh, you can. It's hard. And that is where the fun is. So at this point, anything else? I can't think of anything else either. So at this point, let's just bring our right hand down towards the block. And then towards the ground, we'll bring the left hand towards, the left hand towards the block on the ground, right hand towards the ground, and we'll come up in the standing split. Again, feel free to use the wall here. You can lean against the wall, or you can step away from it a little bit, toe heeling that right foot away, and taking your standing split independent of the wall. Either way is fine.
And if you want to get super fancy, you can even try grabbing the standing leg, the ankle with both hands. If you want to try getting balancing and being all fancy and stuff. You don't have to.
It makes me feel like an umbrella a little bit. And then when you're ready, both hands can come to the ground, maybe bending through the right knee to help with that. And we'll lower the left leg down, coming down here into forefold again, grabbing for opposite elbows, swaying side to side, releasing the low back, maybe shaking it off a little bit. And then when you're ready, we'll roll all the way back up to standing, shake it off, and we'll do the other side. So this time you don't need to do a vinyasa unless you really like to do one. If you're doing a vinyasa, feel free to meet us now in Warrior Two, when you're done with that, with the left foot parallel to the wall, the right heel possibly right next to the wall, and then the left heel is intersecting the arch of the right foot. We'll take our arms out into a T, bending into that right knee for a nice strong Warrior Two. Again, if you wish to try the stick the booty out thing, we'll stick the booty out, then rotate this left thigh inwards. There we are in our beautiful Warrior Two. So from here, did we do the revolve warrior?
Yeah, so when you're ready, we're gonna drop that back arm, keep that front knee bent, inhale, revolve that warrior, left arm comes up. And when you're ready, we're gonna inhale, coming back through Warrior Two, and then exhale, left knee comes to left, or left elbow comes to the left knee.
And this might be a nice time to grab that block and put it towards your left foot.
Right arm comes up.
You're gonna need it in a minute.
Alongside the head, so you have this nice long line this way. And again, you can experiment with how much strength you want to engage in the core, if you want to try to raise that bottom arm, or just try to not support your body with the elbow.
And again, you can use the wall if you want for support as you experiment. Feel free to look up towards your right hand, maybe towards the ceiling beyond that. Stretching long. And when you're ready, we'll inhale, coming back up, straightening that left leg. You can pop that right foot in a little bit if you like. If you like a slightly shorter stance for triangle. Actually, bring this back so you can see me. And then arms come out into a T. And we reach to the left. Finally revolving down into triangle. So left hand either meets the left shin, goes on the inside of the left calf or block on the outside of the left calf. Maybe looking up towards our right hand. And this feels great, but I know it could feel greater. So at this point, I'm going to take my left hand into my left hip crease here, lengthening through the left side of my body as I stretch over. And then maybe take my right arm long over my head here. Reaching, 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 revolving my chest up towards the ceiling. And then finding my triangle again. You want to teach that for me? I can if you prefer.
You do it, because I'm going right
We're
into
gonna
this.
bonk that wall. All right. And then half moon, or the Chandrasana. So I'm gonna bend into my left knee, find that block in front of me, and rest my left hand on it, lifting my right leg. Keep making sure that my right leg isn't swinging too far back or too far forward here. So actually, because I have all the support from the wall, I can look down towards my right foot. I think I'm all switched around today. Look towards my right foot and make sure that I actually see the toes of my right foot. They aren't too far behind, and they aren't so far forward that I can see my shin and everything. From here, right arm comes up, and I can look towards my right hand, possibly trusting the wall to hold me from falling back, or kind of moving away from it a little bit and seeing what it's like to balance without the support. Breathing deep. And when you're ready, no hurry. Of course, never. When you're ready, right arm comes down to meet the left on the block, or maybe all the way down to the ground. Left hand comes all the way down to the ground. You can bend through the left knee if you need to. We'll lift through the right leg, possibly grabbing the left ankle with both hands. And we'll enjoy a standing split for just a second longer. Breathing deep. And then let the right leg come down to meet the left, again hanging out in your forward fold. This time arms can stay down, knees can be bent here if you like, and we'll just kind of sway the arms side to side like a weeping willow in the breeze. New metaphor today. And when you're ready, what we got next? Inversions and breathing and eye stuff. So maybe we'll come into a squat. So when you're ready, feel free to take the feet a little wider. Here, I'll turn around so you can see what I'm doing here. And I'm just gonna come down into my squat. How placid. If you wish to sit on a block for your yoga squat, that's fine. Doesn't really matter what's happening with where your heels are and where your sits bones are, but what does matter is your spine. So I'm not in my yoga squat like this. No hunchback of Notra squat. I'm up like that. I've got a nice long spine here. Even my shoulders are coming forward a little bit. My spine is staying long, my tail is tucked. So we'll breathe here for a second. This is really intense on your hips. You can just come to seated on the mat. And before we get into our more sort of calming and centering practices, we'd like to do an inversion of your choice. So because we have the wall here, you can really experiment and have some fun with it. You could do a headstand, a handstand if you like. If you have a handstand practice, you could do a forearm stand if you like. Or if you want, you can just do good old legs up the wall. Or you can ignore the wall completely. Feel free to come to seated when you're ready and just do shoulder stand. I'll demonstrate legs up the wall real quick. So to do legs up the wall, I'm actually gonna sit right next to the wall and then come down to lying on my side in the fetal position here with my tailbone as close to the wall as I can get it. Then from here, I'm gonna swing one leg up and then the other. And here I am, legs up the wall. It's so wonderful. I do recommend it. If you would like to do, what would you like to demo? You want to demo a headstand?
Sure.
Brian will demo a headstand. And we're gonna be in here for a little bit. So if you wish to do a couple different inversions, maybe a headstand and legs at the wall, or a shoulder stand and a handstand, or whatever it is that you'd like to do, by all means, feel free to make this your practice. This is a choose your own adventure inversion.
So a wall is a great thing to have if you're still learning headstand and you're not quite confident with it, because you got a wall there. So, you know, you can only go as far as the wall. So I like to do traditional headstand. So I like to measure off, grab each elbow, place it down on the ground, and then I can make a little basket with my fingers to put with my hand to put the back of my head into. Crown of the head comes to the mat. I walk the feet in close to the body. So at this point, I'm already in an inversion. You can see my hips are pretty much stacked just above my head. So there's none of this jumping and swinging up into this. I should just be able to lift up a leg. And you can also experiment with just doing one leg at a time, just to feel how that distribution of weight is over the head. And you can also come up into this little egg shape like this. When coming up into a headstand, try straightening the bottom part, the top parts of the legs, but keep the knees bent until you get into this shape, and then straighten the bottom half of the legs. And coming down the same way as well. Whatever you're doing, just keep breathing deep. And so coming out, I'm gonna come out the same way I came in. So bending the knees first. Oop, I got a wall behind me, so it's a little tough. Then bring the legs down with bent knees. Then you can just place the feet on the ground. Now, if you've done a headstand, we're gonna come into child's pose as our restorative posture. I guess we should do, if other people have done like, if you've done shoulder stand, you should take fish as a counter posture. And I'll show you that real quick.
And if you did a handstand, take child's pose as a counter posture as well. But slide your arms back down so that maybe they cup your heels. Your hands cup your heels here. Oh no. Oh no. Oh man. You should know better.
No, I want to see what happens. So I'll show fish really. Oh, look at that.
At this point, we will move our little camera so the kitty cat isn't the star of the show completely. And let's see Brian's fish
I'll
real
show you
quick.
fish.
And then we'll get into
Legs
some seated
like
posture.
this. You can bring the hands on, palms onto the mat, or you can bring them underneath of you with the thumbs touching, palms face the floor. We inhale to come up, and then opening out, and then we open out through the shoulders, just tilt the head back. So you get this stretch in this direction. This is the counter posture for shoulder standers.
And you can rest the crown of the head on the ground too if you like here, really pushing out through the chest. That's fine as well. When you're ready, you'll inhale the chin back towards the chest, looking at your toes, and then roll back down onto your back. And at this point, let's see how we're doing for time. Oh, great. We have loads of time. This is wonderful. So at this point, we are going to enter into a more meditative portion of this practice. Feel free to grab a folded up blanket and take a cozy seat next to the wall. I'm going to sit next to Brian. It's that cozy in here that we have to sit right next to each other, even though we've got this great big room. And we will practice Tratak. So Tratak is a cleansing exercise for the eyes. When I have a day, like possibly today, where I just can't get it off the ground and I feel kind of sluggish and weighed down by reality, that's when I know it's a good time to practice cleansing exercises. In the winter time, doing a lot of cleansing exercises internally, like cleansing out the intestines, can be very cooling to the body. So we kind of avoid those sorts of cleansing exercises this time of year and focus more on things like Kapalabhati, the skull shining breath, and Nauli, which is an abdominal exercise, and gazing, which is Chatak. So if you have a pencil or a small piece of tape or a small round sticker, stick the sticker at the arm's length away from your body. So you lean back for just a second. Yeah, perfect. I chose the wrong seat. Sorry about that. And I'm gonna make a mark on the wall that, well, it depends on my mood today. If I'm feeling really up in my head, I'm actually gonna make the mark a little bit lower than eyes height. If I'm feeling kind of depressed and sluggish, I'm gonna make the mark a little bit higher than my eye height. And if I feel just, like I'm in a state of balanced equipoise, the mark will be right at eye height. So I'm just gonna make a little circle here above eye height. And I'll let Brian choose his spot. And then I'm gonna sit with a nice long spine. If you're wearing glasses, make sure that you can see your mark without your glasses on, because it is best to do eye exercises without glasses or contacts on. So I'm just going to find this spot and make sure my body is centered right on that mark. And we're just going to gaze at it for a few minutes, not very long. And the idea when we're gazing at this, if you want to take a quick look at how my eyes would look as I gaze at something like this. Like I'm gazing, but I'm not popping my eyes out, and I'm not kind of keeping them real low. It's like I'm resting my eyes on something, trying not to blink. If you blink, that's fine. Don't beat up on yourself. But you'll find if you're able to avoid blinking, your eyes will begin to water a little bit. That's totally fine. That is actually the cleansing aspect of this practice. So keeping a nice long spine, tail tucked, chin just ever so slightly tucked to keep length in the cervical spine and the neck. Just gently gaze at that mark or sticker or piece of tape. Allow your breathing to become natural. Gaze at that spot as if you're gazing at a loved child or a beloved pet who is not throwing up on the carpet or anything unbeloved, but is being very beloved right now. Let your breath become soft. Let your gaze become soft. And hopefully, we can let our minds become soft too as we practice. You may notice that the things around the spot on the wall start to fade or wiggle a little bit. That's totally normal. You may see colors on the edge of your vision. That's normal too. If your gaze wanders away from the spot, just gently bring it back. That is the meditative quality of this practice. when you're ready, if you're ready, you can allow the eyes to close and gently rub the palms of both hands together in front of you, fairly briskly, building a little bit of heat on the palms of the hands. Then when you feel the heat on the palms of the hands, cup your palms over your eyes. So my hands aren't exactly pressing on my eyes, but they're cupping over them like a little dome. And I'm gonna open my eyes gently and look at the lines in between my hands as I slowly pull the hands away from the face and let them come down to my lap. All right. Maybe wiping away any tears that showed up. Hooray. So from here, again, we'll take a comfortable seat. And that really can look like anything. You can sit on a blanket, you can sit on a chair, whatever it is that can allow you to maintain a nice long spine. We're going to do Nadi Shodhana, that is a cleansing of the nadis, which are the subtle channels of energy that run throughout the body. So in other words, alternate nostril breathing. If you want to do the traditional hand gestures for this, feel free to take your left hand into
Chin mudra.
Chin mudra.
Or if it's facing up, if it's facing down, Jnana mudra.
Your choice. I like Jnana mudra.
Jnana's more of a
It's grounding.
grounding. Chin's more of a, I'm sending my
Uplifting.
energy out to the universe.
Your choice.
So whether you need energy, go for Jnana. If you're trying to project energy, you can go with Chin.
Your right hand can come into Vishnu Mudra, which is first two fingers fold into the meat of the thumb there, so into the heel of the thumb. And whoops, there, you can see it there. It's hard, there you go. Now you can see. And if this is uncomfortable for you, you can always keep those two fingers up and just rest them on the third eye center like this. So what we're gonna do is draw that right hand towards our face. We're gonna close off the right nostril with the right thumb. Inhale through the left nostril. Close off the left nostril with the right ring finger. So I'm holding both my nostrils shut. It makes me have this really great, funny, nasally voice. I'm gonna hold my breath here for a second and then lift the right nostril off, or the right thumb off the right nostril and exhale. When you're ready, inhale through the right nostril. Close off the nose. Hold. Exhale through the left nostril. Inhale left. Hold. Exhale right. I'll show from the side so you can see what my spine is up to. Inhale right. Hold. Exhale left. Inhale left. Hold. Exhale right. Inhale right. Hold. Exhale left. Inhale left. Hold. Exhale right. Inhale right. Hold. Exhale left. Inhale left. Hold. Exhale, right? Inhale, right? Hold. Exhale, left. And you can continue with your hand, or you can experiment with taking your hand away and inhaling left. Hold. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Hold. Exhale, left. Inhale, left. Hold. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Hold. Exhale, left. And we'll sit in the peace that our body has achieved from that practice. We'll sit here for just a second. You can close your eyes if you like. Breathing deeply through both nostrils. And if there are any final movements you like to take before your rest in Shavasana, even if the final movements are putting on socks, feel free to take them, and we will find ourselves in a comfortable laying down position on our mats. So, so if you're in Shavasana, feel free to tuck your chin just a little bit here, keeping the neck nice and long. Let's keep an eye on that cervical spine. We'll tuck the tail just a little bit too, keeping the lumbar spine long. And then let's lift up through the heart, lifting the chest off the ground, almost like we're going into fish. Draw the shoulder blades together and then let the thoracic spine, the middle part of your spine, come back down towards the ground. Palms face up. Feet are about 2 feet apart or so, toes splayed out to each side. Allow your breathing to become natural and fluid.
So you can start to bring your awareness back to your body, back to your breath. Feel free to deepen your breath. You can start to get some motion into the toes and fingers if you like, maybe wiggling them. You can also roll the wrists and ankles a little bit if you like as well. Turn the head side to side. So let's bring the feet together. Press out through the heels. Let's interlace the fingers. Send the palms away from the crown of the head towards the wall behind you. Inhale and give yourself a very long stretch. Pressing out through the heels, pressing out through the palms. And then exhale, bring the knees into the chest, and you can hug yourself in. You can give a little rock if you want to. We're eventually going to make our way up to seated. So feel free to bring yourself up however you like to. And when you get to seated, find yourself in a comfortable seat, even if you have to sit up on something. We'll do a couple of rounds of Prana Mudra. So we're going to inhale, take the arms up and overhead. You can even arch the back a little bit as you do this. Exhale, press the hands down. You can even round the back as you do this. So again, inhale, reaching up, gathering it all in. Exhale, pushing it down. Let's do one more. Let's do two more. A little extra Prana Mudra for some extra prana today.
We can all do with a bit of extra prana.
Then you can bring your palms to touch at heart center. And if you'd like to join us in an Om, feel free. We'll do one. Take a deep inhale. Thanks for practicing with us today. The light in me sees and honors the light in you.
Thank you much. We'll be here next week. Bye.